Hey guys, welcome to Teacher Mabid. I'm a teacher turned homeschool mom to two little girls, and on this channel I share everything about homeschooling, life, motherhood, and everything else. And today I have a special video for you guys. This is a collab with Project Happy Home, Tanya from Project Happy Home, and I am so excited because we are going to be talking about something very essential to homeschooling. All right, so we're going to be talking about finding your why. And let me tell you guys a little story before I go into it. So this summer I was hunting down curriculum and looking for, all these different things for my daughter. And she's getting older, she's in first grade. And even though we do like a Charlotte Mason Waldorf mixture-ish, I still like to do some core things that I like to make sure that she is on top of. And language arts and math is kind of along those lines, but we do it in a little bit of a, I don't know if it's an artistic way or a little fun way, but we like to incorporate different ideas. You get the idea. But so I was looking at all these different things, and I'm looking at language arts, and there is so much out there for language arts, and it was just overwhelming just trying to figure out what was the right fit, what was the right fit, and what curriculum went well with us, because everything has, like, all the curriculums out there are just so great, and everything has a little bit of something that speaks to you, right? Like as an educator or a homeschool mom, there's a little bit in everything that kind of goes like, oh, I like that, I like that, I like that, and I kind of wanted to just take different aspects of things and just put it together in my own personalized curriculum. But that was just, that's just not, maybe in the future, but like that's just not available right now. It got me thinking, and I was talking to Tanya about it too, and it's just when you're a homeschool mom, or even in life actually, when you think about it, you kind of need to figure out why you're doing something. And it's kind of like the essential question. You have to know why you do what you do, like in a general big picture kind of way, and also in a specific, I want to say, subject oriented manner too. Because if you do not know, and that's where I was at this summer, I was at my point where I was trying to figure out, well, what do we want to do? I'm going to teach language arts, I'm going to teach this, but what do I want to do? What is my goal for the year? And this is where goal setting kind of comes in as a homeschool mom, because you kind of, when you're homeschooling, you need to set down your own goals for the year, right? And you want to talk about things that are important to your family and essential to your family, and things you want to give your kids that year. It's almost like it's like a gift. You want to give what gifts you want to give to your child through education, through learning. And that's kind of like your goal for the year. And everybody has different goals, and I had to go back and rethink what was essential. What do I want to accomplish this year? What do I want my daughter to learn this year? And when you go back and do that, it kind of simplifies everything, because you look at the big idea. Like, so I was looking at language arts, and I was thinking, oh, what do I want her to do? What was my goal? And last year my goal was to help her to read. That was like a big thing for us, because we wanted to make sure, I mean when you think about it, your child being able to read is kind of a big milestone when it comes to homeschooling, because everybody is like, oh, can she read? Yes, she can read. So it's like it's one of those things that people are like, oh, okay, I guess you're doing your job kind of thing. And that was important to me. It was important to me that my daughter knew how to read, not because I wanted people to be like, oh, affirming our homeschooling, but rather it was more like I wanted that world to open up to her. I am a book fanatic, if you don't already know, and just opening that world up to her of being able to read different things and look at different things and experience the world of reading was just something that I felt a lot, very strongly about and very emotionally about. So I wanted her to be able to read, and that was our goal for last year. And this year it was kind of like, oh hey, well she can read now. What's next, right? And then you also want to keep in mind that, you know, your child is still a baby. She's not that big, right? Like she's like in first grade. It's not like it's like seventh grade where she needs to like take some kind of test or something. It's like, you know, you got to kind of chill too. So it was this point where I had to think about, okay, well, what does she need, and what does she, given her age and given her, you know, how she is and who she is, what does she need in order to thrive this year, you know? And that's one of our goals. Our goal this year is to be able to, you know, homeschool, but at the same time, you know, keep in check that life happens and just thrive in our learning. And that can mean so many different things to different people, right? So that's what I'm kind of talking about when we're talking about finding your why. You want to make sure that you find your why. Why do you, if you're looking at the big picture, why do you homeschool? And knowing those things helps you even when you're talking to somebody else and they're not a homeschooler and they don't know any better, or they're questioning your homeschooling, and you know, you have an idea at that point. Okay, well, why do you homeschool? You can tell them, you know, this is why we homeschool, because you know, you not only subconsciously know, you consciously know why you do what you're doing. And just that conscious awareness of doing those things that you set out to do for your child for the year is, it just helps everything, even when you're looking at different curriculums. You know, when you're looking at different, well, if our goal this year is, or if your goal this year is to help your child read, well, what curriculum does the best at that, or is the most, it speaks to your heart the most in that specific goal, right? And so when you do that, it helps you navigate that space of being able to pick out what you think is the best for your child. And then also planning helps. I know I am like, you guys know, you've seen my other video. If you haven't seen my other videos, you should go check them out. But in my other videos, I talk about planning, and I'm not a planning nut, but at the same time, I plan. I plan so I don't like sit there and go, okay, what am I supposed to do today? So I plan loosely. I don't plan strictly hourly, but I plan loosely. I block plan, actually. And so that helps me figuring out where my daughter's schedule is at, and then, or what we are doing that day. Because as a homeschool mom, you need to be, I've learned this the hard way, you guys. As a homeschool mom, you need to be prepared. If you wake up in the morning and you don't know what you're doing and you're running around like a chicken cut off, like a chicken's head cut off, then you're just kind of, then your kids are gonna be like, what are we doing, mom? Right? So you have to have a plan. You are the master plan. And so you gotta know what you're doing. And when you do know what you're doing, then your kids kind of follow suit and understand that, okay, we've got a plan. We've got an idea of what we're doing. And days when we don't have a plan are also so much fun. But at the same time, those are specific days where, you know, you're kind of letting loose. I don't know, I sound so a personality, but you know what I'm talking about. But so just having a plan and having a goal, and you know, working through those goals. And I've had to actually this year, you know, this is something I didn't anticipate, and I've had to refine my goals and refine our our schedule, and look at it and say, okay, well, what are we, because I'll tell you this, I'll tell you the mistakes I made. So here are things you don't do when you're homeschooling, right? You don't overplan. Because when you overplan and overschedule your kid, they get overwhelmed, and it's just not a happy place to be. So that's where we are at, actually. We are kind of, we planned, we made plans, and those plans, I understand, are fluid. But like, I am constantly trying to refine them, change them up according to my needs and what I want to do. I never try to plan and then stick to it and go, okay, this is what we're going to, and if it doesn't go my way, then it's like all hell breaks loose. That I try not to do that. So we try to plan, but at the same time make sure that, you know, we are we're working with everybody together, and if there are changes that need to be made, then there's changes that need to be made, you know. So that's part of figuring out your why, figuring out your goals, figuring out what makes you as a homeschool mom, you know, accomplish those goals, you know, setting goals and planning them, and you know, not just for your kids, even for yourself. You know, it feels great when you put down goals for yourself and you take out that time and say, this is mom's time to accomplish her goals and do them. It feels great because you feel like, you know, you've accomplished something, you've done something in your day. I mean, not saying that, you know, homeschooling in itself isn't a huge goal that you need to accomplish. Yeah, it is. But, you know, for you, for yourself, not as a homeschool mom, but just as you as a person, you know, taking time to do those things is very essential as well. And when you plan and you make sure that you know what you're doing and you're consciously aware of what you're doing, because sometimes as homeschool moms, we go into like, we go into auto mode, right? Like wake up the next day, breakfast, homeschool, and whatever your routine is like. And we get stuck in that, especially in the middle of the year sometimes, you know, when you're just like an auto and you're like, okay, let's do what we're doing. And just taking time out to revisit your goals, re-look at that, look at them and say, okay, are these still goals that we are trying to accomplish, or have they changed? Is this something that we want to continue doing? Is this working for our family? You know, consciously going back to them, consciously revisiting them and modifying them if necessary, and you know, modifying them to your needs, and not just getting stuck in that specific routine that you wanted, you know, that you're stuck in, really, really helps. And, you know, it helps make sure that you are emotionally healthy, and, you know, as a homeschool mom, and that is something that is so important for us, you know, making sure that we are emotionally good. Because if we are emotionally good with our homeschooling, because homeschooling is overwhelming, and you know, this is not something that, you know, people take it lightly and think, oh, you know, your homeschooling must be nice, staying home with the kids. No, I'm working too. But, you know, so it's like nobody will really understand it unless you're going through it. And that's kind of the beauty of it, because it's something that is personal to you, private to you, and nobody else will understand it but you and your children who go through it. And at the end of it, you are hoping for your goals to be accomplished, and, you know, and what's greater than that. And so, you know, those are some ways that you can help, you know, help yourself when you question yourself too. You know, when you question yourself and say, why am I doing this? And you're in an overwhelmed place, you're trying to figure out, you know, why am I homeschooling, or why am I teaching language arts in a certain way, or why am I teaching math in a certain way, you know, then you can revisit your goals, look at them again and say, you know, this is not meeting our goals, and then at that point it's easy to toss out something that is creating havoc in your homeschool. And that, I have to tell you guys, that has happened to me so many times, and I know I don't mention it on YouTube, but at the same time that happens, and that's life. You know, someday, like if you've had a month of consistently, like your child not responding to the curriculum that you picked for them because you thought it was a good fit, and you can go back and say, you know what, our goal is to do this, but this is not working for me. And at that point, it's easy to kind of put it away and say, you know what, this is not working. Let's find something else that does work. And it's easy to do that when you can go back and see your goals and go back and see your whys, you know, so to speak. And that this can be across curriculum, you know, this is not just specific to, you know, homeschooling, or even like, you know, specific subjects. It can be, but this is like a general big picture for your life kind of thing, right? And if you can figure out what you are doing and why you are doing it, and you consciously know, then nobody can really question you and or make you change your mind, and or, you know, whatever it is. You are more solid and more conscious in your awareness of what is happening and what needs to be happening. So yeah, I know that's my little rant, y'all. I don't know if you guys understood what I was saying, but I'm glad you guys joined me on this video. And Again, check out Tanya's video. I'm super excited to check it out myself because I love hearing her talk about it, and she's so deep about it sometimes, and I love hearing all these different perspectives. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the like button and tell me what your why is. Why do you homeschool, and what your favorite curriculums are, because I would love to hear all of you guys participating and talking to me in the comments section below about why you do what you do. All right, guys, take care, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.